hiding in the bathroom to make sure we don't get shot.
What do you think that period of your life taught you that's been valuable for you as an entrepreneur today?
You're one decision away from ruining your life. One night I came home, we were expecting our first. Jennifer's in tears, it's 1:30 in the morning. She tells me she had a miscarriage. And I'm like, God, what are you doing?
That anger, is it still there?
Oh my God. I made a lot of stupid mistakes in my life, but as you're going, you're just hoping you don't make the same mistake twice.
But why should people be thinking billion?
It's not a job for everybody. It's not. So for me, why do I need to make $1 billion?
Welcome everybody to the show. I'm here with Patrick Bet-David, PBD. Patrick, my first question, I was just actually with Adam at the vault. In the vault,
sorry for you, by
I
the
know,
way.
it's like, who are you? I recognize this. He looked at us with the logo. I said, well, we do some content. But I asked him when I was leaving, I said, I'm about to go have a conversation with Patrick. What's a question I should ask that most people don't ask? And we were talking about some of the work I do at at-risk youth.
Yep.
And he goes, Patrick essentially is who you just described. If you don't mind, I know you've shared the story about, coming from Iran and stuff, but like, a guy asked me once, he said, what did your childhood smell like? And I thought that was an interesting way, to...
Middle Eastern, they sweat a lot. What do you want me to tell you about what the childhood... No, but I would tell you, so for me, till 10 years old, mom and dad lived together. And my dad was always my hero. Since I was 6 years old, when the teacher asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be a dad one day, because I just want to be like the guy. When they got a divorce, Germany refugee camp, I experienced what it was to not trust everybody. And you can't think everybody wants what's best for you. And I got stabbed the first time with a fight with a couple Afghani kids, and we were with Czech kids and Yugoslavia, Miodrag and Anna Maria and Polish and all these guys. I'm like, okay, I'm by myself now. It's me, my sister, who's 6 years older, and my mom. And then came to the States, lived in Glendale, and refugee, welfare, all this other. We never had a car. We would always go different places. My mother got a car at the tail end of it. So I would always walk to school and back. And then you're around gangsters, all these different guys that are in gangs, drug dealers and all these guys. And I didn't touch drugs. I never touched drugs because I was afraid of God. My mother, even though I didn't believe in God, she would always tell me the one thing that very effective. She would say, I may not know what you're doing, but God knows if you use drugs. Okay, my best friend was a #1 guy selling weed in Glendale. He's no longer with us. I took him to rehab, and his drug that took him out was Vicodin, 50 a day. I took him to Bible study. We took him to Tarzana Medical Center, Rehabilitation Center, and boom. Love that guy. Probably my favorite guy to just hang out and talk and enjoy. Just a real guy. We liked, he was a Tupac guy. Anyway, so that's that part. So at 14 years old, my dad's trying to kind of change my life, and he introduced me to this guy named Vladimir, who's now pastor in Torlak, a Syrian guy whose father, who had a house in Upland, California, San Antonio Boulevard, right next to Snoop Dogg. And I would go to this guy's house, 7,200 square feet. I'm like, what a freaking house. One day when he was pictures of his family in the white pool table, picture with Al Gore, liberal guy. And I'm like, okay, so office here, bedroom had a jacuzzi, big pool, basketball. Like, I don't understand any of this stuff, man. I want a life like this. He would sit there with his kids, always push them. Jesus wasn't real, even though he believed it. Let me tell you, money is bad. And like, what are you talking about? You do good with money. And it was always heated debates with his kids, and I loved it. His son brought me to a league called the New Century City Basketball Association in Echo Park. It's guys from Blood, Cribs, MS-13, Black Diamonds, I believe, all these guys. We were all just, hoodlum kids. One time there was a shooting. My dad was there. Kid got shot. We're running around and hiding in the bathroom to make sure we don't get shot. So then after high school, I'm like, dude, nothing's going to happen. I'm working at Burger King. It's not like I got a straight path to doing something big. I said, I'm going to go do 20 years in the military. And military is when I flipped. Drill Sergeant Green got a hold of me. And there's a famous picture with me standing like this next to my drill sergeant and my dad. And after that, I'm like, yeah, I can't live like this anymore. And then boom, 180.
What do you think that period of your life taught you that's been invaluable for you as an entrepreneur today?
You're one decision away from ruining your life. We're watching a movie the other day, the kids and I, we were watching Ray Allen's movie with Denzel, the basketball game. What is it? What is the Ray Allen movie with the You Got Game? Is it You Got Game or He Got Game? Something like that. One of those things, You Got Game. And the back and forth on how the father ended up in jail and the governor, and we're just sitting there, we're like, look at this guy. So he's dating this girl that, you know, he's hooking up with all the time, and she's trying to get paid to get him to a certain school. And one by one, you're realizing that some of the people don't want what's best for you, and some of the people, all the motives of certain relationship, right? And there's nothing wrong with people having a motive with you. Your wife has a motive with you. You have a motive with your wife. Your kids do with you. You with them. There's motive here. There's motives that's selfish for him versus you versus me. This here, there's motive, both sides. But you have to know, is the motive coming from a negative place? Is it coming from a positive place? You just did an event with John Maxwell. One of the best quotes I heard John Maxwell once say, he says, when you learn to persuade, be very careful to not flirt with using that ability to manipulate. Because when you learn how to persuade, you can also manipulate, right? Because manipulation is what? Me win, you lose. And so that's the motive where you got to learn with all the other guys. And I was blindsided. I'm like, oh, that guy wants what's best for me. You don't want what's best for me. No, this guy doesn't. I'm like, yeah, this is lopsided. I got to figure this stuff out with human nature and motives and all this stuff. And that took many years to figure out. But that was probably the case because it was so chaotic. It's like, so much going on. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I got it. So a lot of the chaos between my mom, my dad, refugee camp, you know, Glendale, all this stuff is why in business you can kind of be like, no, it's going to be fine. We're going to be good. We got this. You don't get trained that later on in life. Musk handles chaos well. Why? Because his upbringing was way more chaotic than what he's going through today. So today for him is a very safe place to be. So